Hello, everyone, and welcome to the World Blitz Scrabble Championship. Today is Saturday, March 27th, 2021. It is 1 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, but it is still Friday evening back on the west coast of the U.S. where I'm coming at you. My name is Evans Clinchy. Happy to have you with us for this broadcast. This is the final weekend of the regular season anyway at BlitzChamps, and we have a very, very exciting matchup for you tonight. This is two of the very best players in the history of the game, quite frankly. We got Andrew Fisher and Dave Wiegand, the two top players in the Giraffe group of BlitzChamps. Both are 8-0, and they are doing battle tonight. Here's a look at the schedule. We're going to have Andrew and Dave coming up in just a moment, and then a lot more matches throughout the weekend, including a very important match tomorrow between the top two seeds in the Falcon group, Paul Gallen and Piotr Andronowski. That'll also be on this channel, twitch.tv/CocoScrabble. So a whole lot of matches, as you can see. We'll talk about the schedule more in a little bit, but for now, we're going to go right into the matchup between Andrew and Dave. Obviously, these are the two top players in the group. They are both 8-0, undefeated in the Giraffe group throughout the tournament, and they're both an identically awesome record of 59-13 overall in games. So they are two of the top players in this tournament, and one of them will be the top seed coming out of this group after tonight. So looking forward to seeing who that will be. We got Andrew, we got Dave. I'm going to quickly check the Wiggles room, and it looks like, yes, they are ready to go. Okay, so we're going to go right to the game. So Andrew Fisher and Dave Wiegand coming up right now. Here we go. So to the board we go. It is Dr. Bing, Dave Wiegand first, and he's playing against Aphis99, Andrew Fisher. Hey, WTF, how you doing, man? Hope you're enjoying your evening. Hope everybody out there is enjoying their Friday evening or Saturday morning, depending on where you are in the world. This is Friday evening at 6 p.m. for Dave Wiegand in Portland, Oregon, and I believe Andrew is on the east coast of Australia, which would make it sometime around noon on Saturday. So both these guys settling in for their Friday night / Saturday morning action, and I'm sure they've been looking forward to this matchup for the whole tournament long. Both of them know that these are their strongest competitors. I know Dave's been looking forward to playing Andrew, and I'm sure Andrew is likewise looking forward to playing Dave. These two guys have a little bit of a history. I believe they met in the final round of the World Championship in 2011 with a spot in the finals on the line. And Andrew got the best of Dave that time and faced Nigel Richards in the finals of the Poland Worlds in 2011. So they've played many other times, including at Alchemist Cup in Malaysia in 2018 as well. Many memorable matchups over the years between Andrew and Dave, and hoping for another banger, another more of the same, another great matchup between these two tonight. Looking forward to it. Anyway, pretty slow going early on, but the first bingo does come down as Dr. Bing gets Mistral for 79. A big bingo there, and he takes a little lead here over Andrew here in game one, but a lot of Scrabble still to be played. So what do you do here if you're Andrew? You've got two U's, two E's. Not a great rack, but what can you do with it? You can probably play something like, I think Kitzel is a word into the L, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, he plays Luke instead. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Kittel isn't a word. If ever Andrew or Dave misses something, I just assume that it's not a miss at all, and then I'm just wrong. If I could get the bot to work. Hold on a second. Maybe the bot is working, and I'm just not using it properly. In any event, Luke is played by Andrew, and 4 A's have shown up on Dave's rack. That's kind of awkward for him. Not sure what to do with that. All right, he'll just play Jaga, getting rid of 2 of them, and Ratio comes right back from Andrew. So both players with pretty awkward racks here, trying to play through them. Hey, Physics, thank you for the raid. Appreciate you. Congrats to Physics on making the playoffs officially. He will be playing in the first round, I believe, against Ben Schomburg, but I could be wrong about that. No, he's the 2 seed in his group, so he's going to be playing Will Anderson. So looking forward to, I believe, Aaron versus Will and Benji versus Austin Shin in the first round of the playoffs next week. Rip Physics. I hope he didn't lose his match. I actually didn't confirm that he won. But looking forward to your 5 games. Looking forward to being allowed to resign, I'm sure, Aaron, I'm sure. All right, so we are still here in game 1 between Andrew and Dave Wiegand, and it is a 1 bingo lead so far for Mr. Wiegand, but plenty of options here for Andrew. I don't think he's got a bingo. Unwetted. Oh, no, Unwetted did play. Ooh, it looks like Unwetted was a miss there. Unless I'm wrong and unwetted isn't a word. Should probably check these things, huh? Yeah, unwetted. was the bingo there through the T and ratio, but he does get sorbet. Oh, no, sorry. Bing gets sorbet. So now it's going to be Bing up by about 80 points here. And also on turn now with the Q. Big fan of resigning. There you go. All right. Cirque. Nice play by Wiegand. 37 points for that, and it cuts off any triple-triples through the M, as unlikely as those might have been. Andrew does get Dedius down for 72, and we got ourselves a fairly close game, but Dave's going to score a little bit more now with the Z on his rack. At the very least, he's got Fizz or Fez. Wow, he plays Fez instead of Fizz for a lot more points up here at H1. Not sure if that was a miss or if he really wanted to block that triple lane through the D, but either way, Fez comes down, and we got ourselves a 52-point lead now for Dave late in the game here. Interesting rack. No R for Greasily, no B for Les by Gay. Probably not going to bingo, I guess. What do you actually have here that you can play? Maybe something into this. Okay, you can just play Gray. Dave plays Gray for 24, keeping a balanced leave, EILS. He does not draw the blank. Andrew does, but he's got an awkward rack with it. B, a C, and 3 N's. That's pretty unwieldy. He would love to hold on to that blank and maybe try to find a way to bingo into this this D on the right side of the left side of the board, but that's not easy to do. He just plays bin, and ooh, great draw for Dave. He almost has Stolider, but it makes EZ, which is not a valid 2. All right, so what do you do here? Andrew has 1 tile in the bag. I don't think he can bingo right now. Can he fish for something? It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough, actually. I'm looking for like a way to open a lane by like playing 1 tile, like playing an I or something, but that just gets blocked every time. And I don't think there's a second spot you can play. He does play BI, as I guessed, but so he's got conines here. Is there a second spot to bingo? I don't think so, and Dave's just going to outscore anyway. So 68 points for X zones, and that should comfortably win this game for Dave Wiegand here in game 1. So nice job by Dave. And it's looking like it's going to be 1-0 here. No danger of flagging. Both players using their time quite effectively. Andrew's going to go a little bit over, but it's not going to matter as Dave comfortably wins either way. Your final score will be Dave Wiegand 472, Andrew Fisher 317. It was a closer game than it looks on the final score, but in any event, Dave gets the win, and it is 1-0. Dave Wiegand with 8 games still to play. So not a bad first game. I think Andrew had some opportunities to do better there. I think there was a bingo miss there with Unwetted, but he fought hard nonetheless and came up a little bit short. All right, so going on to game 2, no time to waste. Andrew's first this time and a little bit vowel heavy. He's going to play Udo, keeping AOST. Not a too bad of a leave. Could turn into something. We shall see. And I don't believe there's anything here for Dave, but he can play something like Ruth or Luthier and just kind of score a little bit and forage on. I don't mind the idea here of playing Ruth, keeping EILR. 15 points is a little bit of scoring, not too much, but not seeing much better. Okay, Thurl, 21 points rather than the lower scoring option I was going for. That's probably a good idea. So now, interesting rack for Andrew. I don't see a bingo, but I don't know if there's a way to maybe score an intermediate amount here. You could just do like Atany is 24, keeping OST. That's probably not too bad. Okay, he'll play Oi, only 15, but you're keeping a little bit of a better leave. And now it's back to Dave. I would expect maybe Duad. Duad is 24. All the 2s are valid. I checked. And keeps a reasonable leave. He does play Duad. Okay, so Volants is... What should Andrew do here? Maybe Volants, and I believe always takes it. Oh my god, I'm forgetting which 2s take an S now. Ois? That's good, right? Yeah, Volants and Ois. Unless Volants isn't good. Okay, Volants isn't good. I am not qualified to do this stream. You should just watch Andrew and Dave work and mute me. Anyway, Van comes down. That seems like a fine play, and now, again, Dave has drawn too many A's. He had to play Jaga for like no points last game, and now he's again got 3 A's. What can you do with this? Not much of anything, it seems like. Pretty rough. You don't really want to exchange if you can help it, but there's just no way to use the J or these A's, really. This is ugly. I'm just scanning the board for anything I'm missing, but they're just aren't really any. Okay, he plays Jedi for 28, but you're keeping all three A's. AAAOR is not a great leave. All right, Flob's keeping NT. That's pretty reasonable for Andrew. And now it's back to... Actually, oh, okay. So Dave did set up AX there. By playing Jedi, he gave himself a spot for AX. That's a 43-point play. The only problem is he's still got a lot of A's. While he plays Rax instead of Axe, burning through one of his only consonants. I suppose it's a little bit better defensively, but that's an interesting choice. I'm not sure if I would have done that. So the leave with Rax is AAAO. That is pretty gross. Maybe Dave is just giving up on the rack and he's just guaranteeing himself an exchange next turn. I don't know. So Wrath comes down and, ooh, no exchanging now. You've got Ozaena. I would expect to see... Oh, or Zoya. Yeah, that works well too. So Dave playing through some bad racks, maintaining a pretty solid lead actually. Despite drawing pretty ugly stuff, he's up by 80 without even having to bingo. So not a bad outcome to this pretty ugly situation, although Andrew does bingo first. He gets belting for 69, and boy, that is another bad draw for Dave Wiegand here. What can be done? What can be done? Yeah, there's just not much. You could play anti-air, just blow it up. You could play, okay, Aya. Aya keeps AINR, and Dave might finally draw a good rack. We'll see. But yeah, Tenorite comes down, and ooh, CPV is a weird three-tile draw for Dave. So he's going to be struggling with some strange tiles here. He plays Vayne, keeping CPR as a leave, 28 points for that. Andrew's up by a little bit after the bingo, but or sorry, after the two bingos. But Dave's still in this. Fees is a nice score by Andrew. And Dave's now looking at a lot of weird consonants. CMPPW. That is some clunk. What can you do? Yeah, don't we all need CPR? My playoff chances need CPR, that's for sure. I am pretty much dead in my bracket. All right, Perm for 29 is the play by Dave Wiegand. He's only down by a little bit still, but he's just playing through some really tough racks. Not a great draw for Andrew either. He's got the Q and the W together. Never want to see that. But he plays Newton, keeping just the Q. 35 points and a fresh set of 6 tiles to go with that Q. Maybe you draw a U or an I or something that goes with that Q. All right, Unpick is played by Dave for 40 points. I didn't even know the word unpick. Is that really good? Why is that a word, unpick? Unpick is good, to remove the stitches from something. Okay. So Orgic setting up a Q spot, and then Wordies from Dave for 106. Monster bingo from Dave Wiegand. Wow. So even with a fairly nice rack with the Q on it, Andrew is still in a lot of trouble now. Down by 63 here late in the game. And I don't see him making up 63 points here in this endgame. Not seeing any monster Q plays. Maybe you can play something... Yeah, no, like you can play Mike setting up your Q, but that's not going to be enough. Yeah, this was a pretty nice win by Dr. Bing. He drew such lousy tiles for the first half of the game, but just fought through it and scored enough. And despite Andrew's bingos, yeah, wow. In the end, Dave wins by a pretty hefty margin. 425-342 is your final, and Dr. Bing improves to 2-0 in the match. So a great start for Dave Wiegand, who's actually the lower-seeded player in this match. It is pretty insane that Dave, who's one of the world's top players, is a 2 seed in this tournament. It's just kind of a weird fluke of his WESPA rating being lower than usual. But really, Dave being a 2 seed has created a lot of whammies for everybody. Like, it's unfair for Andrew and for Hubert Wee that they got such a strong 2 seed in their group. It's also unfair for whoever ends up facing either Dave or Andrew in the playoffs, that they got to face either Dave or Andrew after finishing first. I believe that Chris May, who finished first in his group, is likely going to face the loser of this match. So, like, imagine finishing first in your group, and like your reward is you got to play like Andrew Fisher or something. It's crazy, but that's kind of the whammy that's created by Dave being a 2 seed. Yeah, I mean, Dave being the favorite is really open to interpretation, really. I mean, these guys are 2 of the world's very best players. You could pick either one of them, and I would not argue with you. Technically, Andrew is the 1 seed, but they're both really, really, really great players. You'd rather face Andrew than Will. I mean, Will's had a phenomenal run, so I'm not going to argue with that either. Will is also one of the best players in the world, so take your pick. Anyway, we are in game 3 here. It is 2-0 Dave, and we've exchanged bingos to open. 64 points for rotated and 73 for swabbies. A very nice play by Andrew Fisher. Yeah, Austin might be the favorite, although, yeah, it's a really, really tough bracket for anybody. We shall see what happens. It's looking like the top 4 seeds in the playoffs are going to be Andrew, Will, Chris May, and the winner of this match. Those are your top 4. But yeah, I mean, somebody outside that top 4 could win too. Like, we got Weiban Toe and David Eldar playing each other tomorrow. The winner makes the bracket. The loser is out. But whoever wins that group is going to be a really, really strong contender. Whoever loses this game is also going to be a strong contender. Like, Andrew or Dave could lose, but then win the tournament from the 2 seed. I mean, obviously, Benji, like, you lost to Will, but you're still a strong favorite. Like, there's just so many good players. We'll see. All I know is I'm glad to be out because I don't want to play you guys. You guys are all too good. All right, Lucumo. What is that word, Andrew Fisher? I don't know any of these words. Define Lucumo, please, bot. Lucumo is an Etruscan prince. Okay, sure, whatever. Lucumo. All right, so Dave just fishes the J, a weird rack. He keeps AADISU. Is he fishing for something? Ooh, not with a third A he isn't. I think Dave Wiegand has drawn like 45 A's in 3 games, if that's possible. All right, so what do? How do you play through these letters? There's a spot for like a 2. Okay, you play Alla. There you go. Alla for 8, keeping ADIS. Yeah, Austin is indeed very strong. No argument here. It's not just a strength of schedule thing. He's also just really, really good. Like, I was streaming earlier this week when Austin played against Jeff Teveno, who's a very strong player himself, and Austin, just demolished him. Like, he's just crushing everybody in his path no matter how good they are. Like, Austin's been really, really good. But yeah, so have a lot of other people. All right, dialogues for 67 here by Dave. Dave is a threat to go 3-0 here. He's already up 2-0 and he's leading game 3. What can Andrew do? He'd love to have an eye for infinite. The one time you want 3 eyes and Wiggles doesn't give you 3 eyes. No spot for infinite. Looks like no bingo. Fainting just barely won't fit. You can play ainting, but the F will go off the board. All right, just if. That looks fine for Dave here, or for Andrew, sorry. So it's Andrew down by 22, and he might catch a break here as... Oh, Phineas is a word. Wow, Phineas is missed by both me and Andrew Fisher. All right, so he gets the bingo with Tiniest on the following turn. Funny, you can find Tiniest but not Phineas. And that gives Kite right back to Dave Wiegand. So a very close game now. Andrew down by 4 and on turn. Pretty bad rack, though, for Andrew. What do you do with this? Yeah, this is really rough. You could just dump the Q for 11. That is one option. Maybe you try and draw something for next turn. I don't know what. What's your best case scenario 2 or 3 turns from now? I don't even know. You got to play through this Q and then play through this V and play through these multiple O's, and just none of these things go together. There's just such horrible synergy. Yeah, you just exchange. That seems fine. Exchanging gives it a chance at a good rack next turn. He keeps HS and he draws, whoa, weird stuff. HHMNRS blank. What do you do now? I don't think there's a bingo here, but it wouldn't shock me. All right, HM for 28. Strong play. And Dave is now only ahead by 18 points, but he's on turn. He could do something like, okay, coup seems reasonable, and more consonants for Andrew. This is rough. Some really weird draws for Andrew throughout this match so far. He just plays off 2 N's. He's got HNRS blank. 1 vowel and he's in business, and he got 1 vowel. Here comes Rhytons or Hornist or something. He's going to bingo. I don't know what duel is, but I think it takes an S. Duels. Oh, it's huh. Why would it take an S if it's a noun? Okay. So Thorons is played. 87 points for that and the lead, but Dave is going to play the Z-Bomb for 70. Wow. He's got QPPG Z8. He plays off Zap, keeping a bizarre leave. But I think Dave's going to hold on and win this. He's not Q stuck. There's a spot for the Q right here. I suppose Andrew could block it and Q stick him. This is going to be complicated. Andrew's got 40 seconds until he flags. You could just play Thrones instead of Thorons? Huh. I'm not sure if that makes much of a difference, unless it involves a... Oh, I guess it would avoid the Z-bomb, I see. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Hey, Jalopik 1, welcome. Yeah, the first two were bangers. Dave won game 2 in bizarre fashion. He drew these terrible racks, but played through them and got a high-scoring X play and Z play and all sorts of stuff. Just kind of winning ugly, as it were. We're here in game 3, and Andrew is struggling with this cue stick situation. He might run out of time. Oh, he does run out of time, so Dave gets the win. And we're going to move on to game number 4. So 3-0 start for Dave Wiegand. Dr. Bing is binging it up. I hope that Andrew didn't disconnect or something. I'm not sure what happened there, as he just kind of went dark on us for the last 52 seconds of his clock, which seems pretty unusual. I'm not sure if... Nope, he's still there. Okay, we're still there, and going on to game number 4. Oh my god, I'm seeing talk of Wiegand going 8-0 or 9-0 in the chat. No way, no way. Andrew's coming back. I think Andrew's going to make this a fight. No doubt about it. All right, Bledded to open, proving my point. Nice start to game 4 here for Andrew, who's down 3-0. Let's see if he can battle back. So, all right, Shoreline for 48. Nice play there by Dave. And, what to be done here? All right, Metal for 23 comes down for Andrew. I don't think there's any bingo here. Looking through these floating letters, the T, the E, the D, I don't think any of them bingo. But I'm sure there's a way to balance the rack and score a little bit. Maybe not too much. Actually, yeah, this is a gross position. Like, there's just not really anything you could play Tau on. Just open thing. He does play Tau on. Wow, I was kidding. 15 points, and he opens a triple-triple, and I don't think he's going to get triple-tripled on because there's too many consonants on Andrew's rack, but what can Andrew do here? I'm sure there's some sort of bingo through the U or the O. What does he have? Tornadic, but you don't want to play without doubling your word. Is there anything with the U? Gonna need some bot help here. I'm not finding anything. He finds inductor. Okay, good job. Looks like inductor and reinduct are the only two words with a U there. And wow, what does Bing have? I don't think there's a bingo with the N in 4th position, right? Position, ironically, is a word that he has, but not with the N in 4th position. Yeah, osteoid, no. Let's see here. Needs a P or a V for oviposit. Boy, this is... Isotonic doesn't quite fit. Oh, inositol, that's a word. Okay. So inositol would play here. Oh, and it is found. There you go. So Dave gets 71 points for inositol. And that's going to give the J-bomb right here for Andrew. Jins comes right down. So Andrew's got a 1 bingo lead here. Looking to get his first win, and he's in pretty good shape so far. Kind of an awkward draw post bingo for Dave. 3 E's, the H, and the Q all together. That is, gross. Maybe you just play like here or something and try to draw a Q play later. You don't really want to play here. That just opens an obvious... Okay, you'll just exchange. Not bad. Overview comes right down. 76 for overview. Nice bingo for Andrew. 2 V's and a W. So, not every day you see a 2V and a W bingo, but Andrew gets one here, and Dave is now way, way behind. I'm sure he would love to resign, but spread might matter for like his seeding in the playoffs or something. I don't know. I'm just taunting Aaron at this point. All right, what do you play here if you are Dave? Let's see here. Seafarers. No, that's not a word. Sassafras. No, you don't have those letters. Let's see. What do you actually play in real life? Let's see. No, Aaron, you're not a 20-1 underdog against anybody. No, Aaron's got a real shot to go far in the playoffs. Don't listen to him. Yeah, and who is this Will anyway? I've never heard of him. All right, red leg. Nice play by Andrew, just dumping everything but the Q, hoping to draw a Q play later. But, ooh, he draws no Q play at all, I don't think. He could play OK or Oki or something just to take out this triple and score a little bit. 36 for OK seems okay. But, yeah, what's your plan for that Q? All right, yeah, he plays Moke. Similar idea there. And, wow, it is 400 to 193. Wow, a classic copy pasta. I remember that one. Is there like a library of copy pasta somewhere where you can like find these and copy them? Because you seem to have always the right copy pasta at the ready, Benji. All right, what's Bing doing here? He plays Wig. Just finish. Oh, it's on the Discord. Okay. I was half kidding, but I kind of half expected that there'd be an answer to this question. All right, so area for 19 comes down, and it looks like both players just kind of playing out the string here as we're moving on to game 5 shortly. The great thing about Blitz is that if the games are terrible, they're going to be done in a few minutes anyway. The sad thing about Blitz is if they're just total bangers, they're going to be done in a few minutes. In any event, we got Dave here just kind of struggling to get to the end of this game. He is drawn absolutely miserably, and he's gotten hit by some big bingos with Overview as a natural, among others, smacking him in the face. It's been a pretty smooth game for Andrew Fisher here. It's going to be 3-1 after this, and we'll have 5 more games. These two guys playing for, I believe, one of the top 4 seeds in the tournament going into the bracket next weekend. Very exciting to see who gets it. Let's see here. What can be done for Andrew? Just Frug, okay. And Nurse is the final 5 tiles for Dave, but I see no spot for that. What can be done? What can be done? He plays Rune, and we should finally see an end to this miserable game in just a moment. Not fun for Dave Wiegand, but luckily for Dave, he is still going to be up 3 games to 1 going into game 5. A good position for him for sure. Dave is absolutely one of the strongest players in the world, not just at BlitzChamps, but at Scrabble in general. But I happen to know for a fact that his Blitz prowess is second to just about none. I mean, he has beaten me personally many, many, many times over the board in Blitz tournaments, or Blitz sessions we've played in person. So I know how good he is. All right, the pasta's getting copied. Love to see it. Love to see it. Hope you guys are enjoying yourselves in the chat as always. All right, on to game 5. And we're going to have Bing going first now against Aphis. And Bing's got Leasize or Ciliate. He does play Ciliate. And, ooh, no N for Stotanov, unfortunately. I don't think there's any other bingos besides Stotanov available here for Andrew. So what do? You could play like Ovist or something. Maybe Ovist here, 25, keeping T in an O. It's not great, but you want to score a little bit, right? How else can you do it? Not easy. All right, so Ovist does indeed come down. Lucky guess by me. And now what? Cozy seems like a good way to score with your Z. So Dave's got a pretty good lead here, 104 to 25, but the X shows up on Andrew's rack, and he's going to get an okay score for it, I would imagine. I see Dex as one option. X-trolled. There's in-trolled, but not X-trolled. Nice. Yeah, but yeah, it looks like Dex is the best valid word here. 41 points. Is there anything better? I'm guessing probably not. So let's see here. Anything else besides Dex? Oh, he plays Redox. Okay, a little bit more of an open board play, which is probably to your benefit when you're behind a little bit. Andrew's down by 42, so he wants to have an open board to come back, and Redox helps him achieve that. It's going to give Dave an easy triple, but he doesn't have anything that scary. Like, Dave can just play, like, Minor or something, and, you know, you're only getting hit for a 21-point play in that case, so... Seems like Andrew's gambit to open the board here paid off pretty well, as he's going to survive that opening just fine. Oh, good, there's a spam bot in the chat. I'm sure we can get a mod to take care of that shortly. But honestly, I don't want to become famous. Why would I want that? Fame just seems like more hassle than it's worth. All right, so Toei, a 46-point play overlapping Redux. Nice job by Andrew to score well without bingoing. But he is still behind by a little bit. For the record, I didn't unmod you. Jennifer did. I think Jennifer just wanted to have just me and her be the mods, but I think we should probably undo that decision because I forget how to ban people and I'm too busy streaming anyway, so I'm not doing it. And I think Jennifer's not at her desk, so. Oh, she's back. Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm going to watch Scrabble and talk about it. That's my main job here. All right. Thady for 40 points. Dave is scoring well. Scoring never stops. Hey, Will's here. Thanks, Will. Thanks for banning that person with that weird username. All right. Obads. Nice bingo here from Dave. 81 points and a nice lead here. Looking like Dave's going to be in good shape, but Andrew should bingo back here. I see Soterial. There's probably other things. Maybe not. Maybe just Soterial. 60 points for that, but he's still behind. And gives a monster spot to Dave for his K. Curb for 58 comes right down. I do want to become notable. I absolutely want to become notable. But just not famous. Famous is too much. All right, so 307, 198. Another commanding league for Dave. Seems like he's in pretty good shape, but Andrew's going to try to fight back however possible. I don't think there's a great spot for like Waff or Cow or anything like that. Okay, he plays Waff for only 18. A pretty fishy play here. He's going to need to bingo multiple times, it looks like. Difficult position here for Mr. Fisher. Dave keeps on scoring. The hog for 29 looks pretty strong and looks like not a very good draw for Andrew. Still no bingo, I don't think. Not seeing a spot for like Anecdota or Oceanaut or anything like that. Yeah, it looks like there's no 8 available. So in that case, what can you do? Maybe you just play Canoe, just score as much as you can, score 35. I don't mind that option. But maybe Andrew's got a different plan in mind. Let's see what he does. All right, he plays Can't. Pretty good score for that as well, 28. And ooh, bad draw for Dave. This makes things a little interesting. If he exchanges and Andrew gets a free turn, we'll see what happens. This looks like an exchange, although you could just play like Hunts. Like Hunts here scores 16 and kind of blocks some things up. It makes like any bingo into this S in line 6 no longer playable. And it just kind of gets you closer to the end of the game. That is one choice you could go with. LVT is not that bad of a leave, and if you're Dave here, blocking things up is useful. Okay, Nth, a little bit more of a scoring play, but I might have gone for the more blocky option. Either one's probably fine for Dave, who's pretty comfortably ahead now. 116-point lead, and Andrew is still not drawing well. It's been a rough go of it for Andrew Fisher. He is a very strong player, but he is not getting the tiles to flow tonight, and maybe 1 or 2 missed opportunities here and there to have some better outcomes. But for the most part, it's just Dave is drawing well and playing well. Looking like it's going to be 4-1. We have had not very many comebacks from down 4-1 in this tournament. I want to say that there's been some 4-2s. I think Jacob Teitelbaum was down 4-2 against Conrad and came back. Maybe Conrad was down 4-2 against Cedric and came back. There's been some 4-2 comebacks, but 4-1s are pretty tough. I think Andrew came back from 4-2 last week against Hubert. But yeah, 4-1 is difficult. Yeah, Dr. Bing is unleashing his rage. Dr. Bing's been unleashing rage for his whole Scrabble career. He's just been raging against all of us incessantly. All right, exchange 4 is the choice from Andrew, who is just having a miserable go of it. And pretty close to flagging as well. 22 seconds left before he loses the game. All right, for Dave, he's got talents in more ways than one. Very talented player, and he's got AELNSTT on his rack. He plays slant for 26. Seems fine. Don't think he's got a playable bingo. Yes, all sorts of vulgar slang words on this board. Waff and Quim are both really fun words. All right. Reg for 21. And still no bingo for either player. Non-plus is a cool word, though. 30 points for that. And Bing is going to Bing. So Dave Wiegand bingo's out, and he wins by a lopsided final score of 502 to 305, almost a 200-point win in the end. And Dave Wiegand improves to 4-1 as he closes in on a very, very strong finish. So Dave looking to finish his 9-0 season, and that would be a pretty impressive feat for him. If I recall, Will finished his regular season with a record of 68-13. So Dave can't pass Will for the 2 seed in the bracket, but he can get to the 3. I believe that's correct. But it's looking pretty likely right now that Dave's going to be the 3 seed in this tournament, which will put him in a pretty competitive bracket with a lot of other strong players. Anyway, back to the board. This is game 6, and Dave looking to close things out. He gets an early bingo with our read, and Taglock comes down as well. Wow, 106 for that. Beautiful bingo, and Dave is on his way. Eyeballs, cool play from Andrew Fisher as well. We got a banger of a game 6 here. Taglock and then eyeballs through it. Taglock is, I believe, an alternate spelling of Taglock with an E. I'm not pronouncing any of these words correctly. What is this word? Seems like something from Hebrew or something. Oh, it's an alternate spelling of, okay, yeah, the pastries. There's a lot of spellings of that, I believe. All right, veto for 21 comes down from Dave. Ooh, okay, so 9-ons is going to open some more bingo lines for Andrew. If you want to come back, this is the right board to do it on. There's, so Taglock and Rugellock are different things. Okay, good to know. I might have been conflating those two things in my mind. They both sound tasty. All right, so the J and the Q show up for Dr. Bing here. He might need to make some low-scoring plays to get rid of those tiles because there's not a lot of great options for the Q or the J available, I don't think. What can you really do? You could just exchange, but that seems unnecessary. Maybe Jolt. Like I see a spot for Jolt here. That'd be 23. Okay, he plays QAT, just getting rid of the Q. Generally, getting rid of the Q is a higher priority than the J because there's just more likely to be J spots available later on. It is a point sacrifice. I don't know. All right, so it's a 90-point game now. Andrew down by 90. He's got a much more flexible rack than Dave does. He plays Voyage, keeping his E and his Z. That's a pretty good leave. And Dave's rack's getting a little bit better. There's probably a spot for Joe, or yeah, he plays Joe for 41. That looks solid. So again, Dave drawing pretty weirdly, but he just plays through the weird racks and just keeps scoring points the whole time. It's pretty tough to compete when he does that. He just scores a lot of points all the time. That is the Dave Wiegand way. All right, Dave's up by 105. Pretty big lead again. He is 1 win away from locking up that 1 seed. And time's running out here on Andrew. Well, not time, but just, you know, tiles in the bag are running out, I guess. Time is just fine. It's got a minute and a half. What does he do with this? I'm not seeing like an amazing spot for the Z. Okay, he plays Maze. That's fine, I guess. Didn't want to try Fire Maze, I guess. Fire Maze would have been a cool phony. All right, so if Dave wants to get aggressive, he can play Wog, but I don't think he wants to do that in a situation where he's up by a bingo. Prow is a nice defensive option. There you go. 35 points, and you're not opening anything up. And now you need an E for 4-time or an S for Setiform. I don't think there's a bingo that actually fits on this board for Mr. Fisher here. He's down by 110. Jeez. Dave is just scoring and scoring and scoring. What can be done here? What can be done? This is difficult. I was looking for like overlaps underneath Voyage. That seems like the best scoring spot, but like, what do you like? Rem? Yeah, okay. Rem is 34. Not bad. Keeping IFOT as a leave, which is not great. And I see Digests and Disgest as 7s here for Dave, and that might just do it. Dave leads by 150, and that might be your match. Wow. So Dave Wiegand just showing up in a big way in this 8-0 versus 8-0 Clash of the Titans. He's going to get the win here. Dave is just cruising. So Pinatal for 27 for Dave is going to make it pretty hard because Andrew's got a bingo twice and he's not doing it with that rack. No bingo happening here. The rest of the games don't matter, physics, but Scrabble is fun and some people like it. Just a counterpoint to think about. I don't know. Scrabble is fun and some people like it. All right, Pinatol for 27, followed by Razoo for 28. Andrew just burning through some vowels, and wow, Dave draws the X. It seems like every game, like Dave's a hit by a little bit, and at the end, that little bit becomes 200. That just happens again and again somehow. Oh, that's a really cool command. So you can find palindromes with that pattern match. That's really cool. I'm actually surprised there's not more palindromes. There's only 45-letter palindromes. Wow. I would have guessed like over 100 for some reason. Madam, rotor. Ooh, ayaya, that's cool. All right, Andrew does bingo with hernias toward the end, but it is not nearly enough. Your final score is Dave 519, Andrew 385. And that is another win for Dave, his 5th of the match, and he will win the match. So impressive work by Mr. Wiegand, taking care of business. Let's look at the standings in the Giraffe group. It was 8-0, 8-0. That is no longer the case. We're now going to have 9-0. Whoop, if not 89-0, that'd be weird. So we can go ahead and adjust this and adjust the names as well. So this is now where things stand. We're going to have Dave Wiegand at 9-0, all alone top the standings, and Andrew Fisher at 8-1. So impressive work by Dave, winning the match, and we will go ahead and watch these last few games. So we're going to have game 7 now between Dave and Andrew, playing for seeding pretty much. Although it's looking pretty likely that your 3 seed will be Dave and your 3B will be Andrew. There is the chance, I believe, that if Andrew wins all 3 games and it's 5-4, and Dave's at 64 wins, and then Eldar wins big against Wiegand this weekend, Eldar could pass both of these guys and take over the 3 seed. And that would bump Chris May down to the 5, and that, I don't know. There's some scenarios where these games matter. But wait, Eldar can't pass? Hold on, really? What's Eldar's record? Eldar's got 58.5. I don't know. I'll look at it later. You might be right. In any event, Scrabble's fun. People like it. We're going to play Scrabble. All right. Oh, Eldar's 7-1. He can't pass the... Okay, you're right. That makes sense. All right, so in any event, we're playing Scrabble, and it's a 70-32 lead for Wiegand here so far. And let's see, Melders, nice play by Andrew, taking the lead here. Can't quite play Volatate. It won't fit through this Ian Melders. I don't think there's any bingo available on this board. Kind of a tough board to bingo on. There's plenty of scoring spots. Sometimes you'll get a 7 in line 14 that overlaps Melders. But with this rack, what do you do? What do you do? Maybe you just, okay, play along. Low out for 28 seems fine, yeah. And gives back Waz, W-A-Z, seems like a pretty clear option here for Fisher. See if he plays that or not. I don't see anything else really worth considering. Okay, Waz does come down eventually, and it's an 83-point lead. No, that's not true. 77-point lead for Andrew now. Dave on turn. He's got the J and the X and the blank. All sorts of fun stuff. What can he play here? Not really that much, huh? There's just not a lot of options. You could play, yeah, not seeing anything. What a weird situation. Your J and your X are just kind of homeless. Oh, no Demi Lovato. That's very sad indeed. I believe Demi Lovato has one 9-letter word, which I've actually played before. I think it's Moldavite. Is there a... I don't know what the bot search is for like finding the longest word within a string of letters, but I believe Moldavite is the 1-9. All right, so Fisher's now down, or sorry, he's up by a bingo pretty much, and he's got this rack. It's hard to, okay, you can find the T-hook on Winge, which I didn't think of. So there you go. Tuyere there is 26, nice play, and gives back some sort of play like Mux. Yeah, Mux does come down right away from Dave. And, ooh, Barguest doesn't seem to play. No, Barguest does play. You've got Barguest here, 85, if you can spot it. And he does. Nice play by Andrew. 85-point bingo. And let's see. What can Dave do in response? He's getting a little bit low on time. You can't look for a blank bingo here for too long. It's not easy to find one, though. It's also not easy to find a spot. Quep takes no S, so this is not a bingo line at all. All right, Per setting up Spur is interesting. Okay, so there's going to be a bingo possibility. Oh, just kidding, it's blocked. So Andrew in a commanding spot now. He blocks bingos up top. He's up by 137. Looks like he's going to cruise to a win here. So Dave is also pretty low on time. He's going to go over his first 3 minutes with 1 minute now to play. I don't see a spot for like Neat Nick or anything like that. He can try to open things up, but it's just going to be rough. He just plays Taken. That seems fine. He's just going to play through these ugly turns and just do the best he can. What is Cinchona? What is this word? China. Oh my gosh, you're learning all kinds of crazy words in the chat. I'm enjoying this. It's kind of more fun watching the chat right now than this game, as Dave Wiegand is just struggling. Oh, he does get a bingo down. Okay, unvaried for 94. He's kind of back in this. I spoke too soon. See, this is why you don't resign, because you never know. You can get unvaried for 94, and your opponent can draw all vowels, and you can be back in it. You can be back in it. What did Andrew do here? He's got to worry now about Dave bingoing. I mean, there's an open E and an N to play through on this side of the board. He doesn't really want to have any more openings show up. It might be worth playing like Bone just to like kill off bingos. Okay, Oni, that's a better leave. Oh my gosh, Banalize is going to play. Ooh, Dave missed Banalize through the N. That is unfortunate. He had a real shot there. Yeah, so Banalize would have played through this N, but instead he plays Labia, trying to open the board. But looks like he's going to be too far behind. 56 down, plus whatever Andrew scores this turn. A rare miss from Dave. So Hoagie comes down for 20 points, and that's going to block some of the bingos, and looks like Dave's got nothing anyway. Needs another S for essayist or a P for epistacy. Yeah, there's no bingo that plays. You could try a phony of yeasties. What do we think of yeasties, guys? Is that a word? Probably not, right? Dave is getting pretty low on time. He might just flag here. Final seconds ticking away. He plays Yaz. And then 2 seconds left, 1 second left, and that's it. All right, Andrew gets the win in Game 7. He's now 2-5. Just kind of playing for his pride at this point. Andrew will lose the match, but will advance to the playoffs anyway as a 2 seed. We will see plenty more in this tournament of both Dave and Andrew. They are playing on next week for sure. They're in the round of 16. All right, last 2 games coming up here. Games 8 and 9. Andrew first in Game 8, and then Dave first in Game 9. Andrew's got, is Rupiah spellable like that? I'm not sure. Can you spell Rupiah like this? Nope, okay. So just yup, keeping your blank seems fine then. 16 points for Andrew, and ooh, 3 R's. It's a pretty decent rack otherwise, but the 3 R's are tough. Ryer gets rid of 2 of them. Nice job by Dave. Ooh, kind of a strange draw for Andrew. What do you do with this rack? I guess you just want to play through it as best you can and score a little bit. Maybe like How or Hoa or Huia. Okay, Huia for 18. Seems pretty good. Dave's got Kide and Kadi. Maybe you can just play. Okay, QIS. More points than playing Kide. But he keeps DDLR. He's going to need to draw some vowels quickly. All right, I see Advocator here as a possible bingo. He does find Advocator. There you go. 74 points for that. And the lead. Only one vowel drawn by Dave, plus the Y, sometimes a vowel I hear. Does he have any kind of play through this I? I'm not seeing it. Ah, Tadovsky spots the hooks for Navigator. Wait, back hooks. Is it not saying that Navigator is a word? Because it is. I'm not really sure what 5655 means. Anyway, Navigator is a word, I'm pretty sure. All right, Kana comes down, 29 points for Andrew. He's still ahead, and Dave is trying to, once again, play through some awkward draws and keep scoring. He's won a couple of games in this match this way by just drawing weird stuff, but scoring well with it and just not bothering to bingo. That might be the case again here. What do you do, though, with this X? Oh, he plays Navigator and Pond. That is a very cool play. 35 points for Pond with a nice hook. Dave is better at finding words than the bot. That's scary. All right, so Andrew is up by a bingo here, but Dave is still scoring well, and it's his turn now. Not seeing a spot for, not really seeing a spot for much of anything. This is tough. Difficult board, which is to Andrew's benefit as he's got the lead. Wow. Astro Navigator and Circumnavigator. Unfortunately, those won't fit. That's an argument for Super Scrabble, right? If Wiggles could have a board for Super Scrabble, I would totally have a Super Scrabble tournament. All right, Glee for 16, just holding onto the X for later. We'll see if Dave can find an X play later on, but anyway, it's Andrew's turn now. He's got no E for Endermic. Super Scrabble is an awesome game. I would play anybody, anytime at that. It is so fun. Get that 21 by 21 board. Do it up. I'm all about that. All right, so Glee for 16 played by Dave, and now Andrew is just taking his time here. I would imagine that some sort of play in this spot is the best option, right? Because there's no other place to score, really. Like, if you just play... Actually, you don't really score that much here, either. Yeah, okay, Sid, that's kind of what I was going for. Raxels is a really cool word that I would expect to see played here. Raxels and Kanas for 80 points. Oh, or Raxels and Spurt for 92, even better. Shockingly, Dave is better than me. Raxels for 92 puts Dave back in the driver's seat. Andrew's now behind, and he's got, he's got an interesting rack. I'm sure there's some ways to score a little bit. What are they, though? I'm looking at, like, plays, like phone, maybe? 29 for that? That's not too bad. Okay, or roof, 26, similar idea. Scoring and overlapping and whatnot. And now it's back to Dr. Bing in a tie score of a game here, 224 all. I see Zen as one option, but it sets up a monster hook for now. There's a lot of unseen A's and S's and whatnot. He does play it, and wow, Andrew's got nothing. No A, no S. The K is already gone, so that's nothing to worry about. So month, and wow, Rat Bite, Bad Ear, Beretta, Bingo's on Dave's rack. Oh, Eterbia, he's got Eterbia from the Y. That's the play here. 92 for Eterbia. I'll bet you he'll see it. He is one of the best in the world at finding 8-letter bingos like that. Clock is ticking, though. I don't think he's seen it yet. Maybe he's looking for a bingo that overlaps now, although I think that doesn't exist. Oh, sad. He doesn't see Eterbia. Oh. All right, he plays Trim Tab instead. All right, so giving a little opportunity here to Andrew. We got ourselves a very close game now. Andrew up by 11. Dave gets the bingo with S. Soiner. But let's see here. What does Andrew have? It looks like nothing. Okay. Dave might hold on to win this game anyway. So he missed the bingo with Eterbia, but he draws S. Soiner with a blank immediately after that. And I think he's going to hold on here. I don't see a way for Andrew to do much about it. I mean, you can try to bingo next turn, but it's a clunky pool. You got to worry about drawing the F, the V, the M. There's just not a lot of ways to bingo. He plays Q for 15, keeping ENOL. I mean, maybe he draws like, I don't know, Milanite through the Y or something. It's not likely. We'll see. So with 4 in the bag, I think Dave probably wants to play 3 tiles, leave 1 in there, and score as much as he can in case there's a bingo he can outrun it. Oh, Faye also blocks a little bit. All right, Andrew fishes again. What can he draw? Milanite's still playable, possibly. Yeah, Milanite seems to be the one thing you're worried about here, and indeed it is blocked. Nice job by Dave to block the one possible bingo. Turns out he didn't have it anyway. So it looks like Dave will hold on and get win number 6 here. What in the world is UELOL? Oh, UE. UE, LOL. Yes, okay, there's a phony 2. I don't think I've seen like even half the phony 2s played in the matches I've streamed. I think I'm at like 30% on spotting the phony 2s. You guys are much better than I am. UE is played by, I think it was Andrew who played that, right? And he gets away with it. He was just looking for a way to fish with his rack and didn't look at the 2s there. Clock is ticking on Andrew, but there is nothing to be found, I don't think. He just plays lie, and Dave's just going to probably play Mev here, I would imagine. Don't flag. All right, he plays Yvette, keeping the M. Both players in their final 10 or 12 seconds here. But it looks like there will not be a flag here as Andrew plays into and Dave passes, and your final score is Dave 386, Andrew 334, and it's win number 6 for Dave Wiegand in the match. So a very impressive performance continues for Mr. Wiegand, and we have 1 game still to play. So enjoying watching Dave Wiegand work as always. He is really just putting on a clinic here. Game 9 is coming up. So Dave Wiegand with just very impressive work here, finishing off a 9-0 run through the Giraffe group, beating a lot of good players along the way. Andrew tonight, earlier in the tournament, Hubert Wee. So he beat good players and he beat James. Just kidding, James. All right, Arctoid comes down 65 points for Andrew, opening with a bingo here in game 9. You know I love you, James. I just had to get that in there. All right, Kid over 48. Nice comeback play from Dave. Ooh, there could be a bingo here. What is there? Tooth set. No, that's not a word. Sawtooth. No, there's no. Hot shot. That's a word. Good job, Benji. Hot shot. I was looking for 8s, but yeah, 7s are more findable. Is there anything through like the O or the T? Oh, outshoot! Yes, a basketball word. There you go. Yeah, outshoot or shootout. There is your Yaga found it too. Yeah. Nice job, guys. All right. Andrew gets the bingo, and he is leading now by a good margin. 65 points up, but it's Dave on turn. Fine. Or a hockey word, I guess. I prefer basketball. All right, branch for 26. Nice play by Dave, and just kind of unloading some constants, scoring well. Might be a difficult board depending on what happens to the available spots to hook things. I mean, there's one spot for a bingo in line 6, and maybe something if you have an S making out shoots, but other than that, not too much. So Dave is down by a little bit here. We'll see what he can do. Pi for 18 for Andrew, and it's now back to Dave. Down by 57 here. He could play Hefe. Seems like a pretty good option, and indeed he does. 33 for that. And let's see here. What can you do with this rack? Seems difficult. Pretty gross board all of a sudden with Hefe blocking the hooks on AN. Neither player has an S right now, so they can't make any unshoots type words. All right, Way is going to open a little bit, as you can now get a vowel over top of WE, and Myoma was a word. Did they delete it like yesterday? I didn't hear about this. I thought it still is a word. No? Okay. All right, so flat for 21. I'm just messing with you, Noah. All right, so he had Myoma. That's a good point. All right, flat for 21, and now what to do here, what to do. Oh, those are the best words, the 4-4 repeat words. I love that hots is a word, but not because it's hots. That's a great one. All right, so ammo for 21 played by Andrew, and we got ourselves a fairly close game. It's Dave down by 50, but he's the one on turn, and his rack is okay. He could, nice, hot in the chat, I love it. He could just play like Evangel if he wants to just completely blow things open. Yeah, Ganev is probably more reasonable. Also scores very well. So 34 points for Ganev looks like a very good choice. Good score, good lead. He plays Ravel instead. I think that's a miss by Dave. But, oh, it does set up his G. That's interesting. Maybe he played that on purpose to play Gravel later. Didn't draw the best rack with it, though. I don't think you can just play Ung, right? That's not a word. Ung is no good. It has to be Unguis. Yeah. Yeah, just Utu. Seems like you might be stuck playing a word like that. Seems like that might happen. Oh, Ravel takes a G and a T. I'm just now realizing this. Utu and Travel. There's the play. Okay, good job, guys. Nice play, nice play. All right. What to be done now? Dave is down by 43, but he's got a spot for X'd. Yep, 38 points for that. And now it's back to Andrew, who's only up by a little bit. 5-point lead. And he's got 2 S's, but the S's have very little value on this board. Like, what do you do with them? Just not really very much. All right, you can play Vet for 22. That seems fine, but Weeding is the bingo for Dave. And Nassians, I believe, doesn't play? Question mark? Oh, it does. Okay, there's the spot. 74 for Nassians, and it's still a close game. Going into the end game here. 5 in the bag. Wow, look at that draw from Andrew. Is there a big spot to play? Yeah, no gazeable. I don't think there's a big glaze either, right? Oh yeah, Dave was 1 tile off from his last name. He had Dave Wiegand. Not to be confused with The Weekend. All right, Zell for 34 seems reasonable enough. Going into a close endgame here. Dave is down by 10. He's on turn. Oh my God, there's a Blitz club. I'll think about it. I gotta go cook dinner and whatnot. All right, 28 points for Piley, and we got ourselves a very close endgame. Cubage doesn't appear to go anywhere useful here. Andrew's gonna go over. The 10 points might matter. He's down by 18 now. Can he find an out and 2 that works? He could play Ocean, keeping Bug, and then play Bug nowhere. That doesn't work. Cubes. Where does Cubes go? Where does he play Cubes? Why am I not seeing the word Cubes? Nowhere. That's what I thought. Just Cubes. Just Cubes. Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. What's the out and 2? This is hard. Yeah, maybe you could play Tubage, keep the C, and then play the C nowhere? Yeah, that doesn't work. I don't know what's going on here. Hard endgame, and I think Andrew's having some trouble too. Trouble. All right, Obang keeping CUE. That's interesting. You've got EQ in multiple spots. Plays here, it plays here. So now it's back to Dave, who's got a difficult situation here. He's down by 12. He's also pretty low on time. You can play Uraris. Yeah, that's an option. That is definitely an option. He plays Snar. Ooh, 31, big score. That should outrun EQ. And Dave's going to hold on here. 402 to 400. Wow. A banger of a final game, and Dave gets the win, his 7th of the match. So a clash of the Titans here in the Giraffe group ends in a pretty lopsided match result, actually. Your final score is Dave Wiegand 7, Andrew Fisher 2. A pretty nice win for Dave, who will improve to 9-0 in the Giraffe group and finish off the season strong. Let's update your game records now. So Dave wins 7. He will finish with 66 wins and only 15 losses. Meanwhile, it's Andrew at 61 and 20, but nonetheless, a very, very strong season for both players. So Dave will, I believe, be the number 3 overall seed in the whole tournament going into the bracket. You got Austin Shin as the 1, Will Anderson as the 2, Dave Wiegand as the 3. And so I believe the most likely outcome here is that Dave will play at Oculus and Andrew will play Chris May in the playoffs. But that might change. We shall see. A lot of things are still up in the air, and we will have to wait until the end of the weekend for final results on all the groups. Looking forward to the rest of the weekend as well. There's a lot more action coming your way. Let's look at the schedule for the rest of week 9. These are all the remaining pool play matches in the entire tournament, folks. These are all of them. It has been a very, very long 9 weeks. We've had 360 matches in all, and these are the last 14 of them. So it's really been an incredible run, and it's all coming to a close. I want to say thank you to everybody who played. I want to say thank you to everybody who helped stream matches. I want to give a huge, huge, huge thank you to Becky Dyer, who helped with a lot of things behind the scenes, like scheduling and all the directing and all of that. I want to say thanks to Wei Bento and Martin DeMello, who did a lot of coding for us to help us with like scraping results and all these like spreadsheets and things. Like all of the results you see on your live coverage pages are all thanks to Martin. All of the tiebreakers are thanks to the spread that Weben helped us calculate by scraping games off of Woogles. I want to say thanks to Woogles for existing, and thanks to Todovsky for the bots in the Twitch chats. Just thanks to everybody. It's been an incredible run. We are at the very end of pool play. We got the last 14 matches up on your screen right now. Anyway, as for those 14 matches, we're going to have a banger tomorrow morning U.S. time, tomorrow evening England time, as Paul Gallen takes on Piotr Andronowski. Those are the top 2 players in the Falcon group. I believe that Piotr is currently 7-1. Paul is 6-2. Both of them are looking for a win in the final week to clinch a spot in the playoffs, and we shall see which one of them gets it. There is a wide open race. You see Matthew O'Connor is also playing tomorrow, and Irfan Siddiqui is also playing tomorrow. All 4 of those guys, Paul, Piotr, Irfan, and Matthew, are playing for 2 spots in the playoffs. I can't promise a banger, but I'm very much hoping for a banger. So tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, and 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, we're going to have Paul Gallen, Piotr Andronowski. Really looking forward to that. Also looking forward to later Saturday/Sunday morning, we're going to have David Eldar and Wei Bento. I believe it is winner take all for a spot in the playoffs between Eldar and Weibin. The winner goes on, the loser goes home. And yes, Stefan, you can have your $0 back if I'm wrong. But in any event, it's going to be a really fun Saturday of matches, a lot of fun. Scrabble coming your way. Hope you guys enjoy all of it. Hope you guys are looking forward to the bangers that are coming up. I'm reasonably sure they're going to be bangers. Reasonably sure. It's going to be fun. Going to be fun. All right, I'm going to go sign off. I'm going to cook some dinner and whatnot. It's going to be a fun evening for me. Not talking to you guys anymore until tomorrow morning. So with that, I am going to find somebody to raid, and it's probably going to be a chess streamer because that's just how I roll. Let's toss a raid in the direction of, let's do some Ben Feingold because he's always entertaining. He's going to stream some chess and crack some jokes, and it's going to be enjoyable. Let's do that. I'll be back in a matter of like, I can't do that math, not very many hours, something like 15 hours from now. I'm going to be streaming Piotr and Paul. Looking forward to that. I will see you then. Until then, have a nice evening/morning. I'll see you soon. So long.